Good Friday morning. Thank you for joining us here on Live Impact News on WCNC Plus. I'm Nick Sturdivant. Carlene Bragg is here in studio with me this morning. I do want to point out we had a bit of a technical glitch during our 7 to 9 stream. So thank you for bearing through that with us. And
thank you for joining us.
And thank you for joining us here on Live Impact News on WCNC Plus. Again, it is Friday. It is Friday. It is Friday.
Say it louder.
It's Friday.
That's right.
There you go. Wake it up. A lot of news to get to, and it's a beautiful day, and it's going to be a little bit of a chilly weekend, but still nonetheless a great weekend. But let's start it off here. Charlotte Knights are back. Baseball is back in the Queen City. I feel like it was just yesterday Carlene was talking about Bark in the Park. Am I saying Bark in the Park? And now
frequent Bark in the Park.
A
frequent flyer at Bark in the Park.
Turkey has a lot to look forward to. Turkey has a lot to look forward to. Well, the Charlotte Knights opening the season with a full weekend series against. Oh man, this is a tough one for me because I'm a Durham Bulls guy.
Oh no, he's loyal to the soil. He's gonna say it.
I'm a Durham Bulls guy. Look, I lived in Durham for about 3 years. Durham Bulls is just all over the place in Durham. So Bull Durham, the movie. Yeah, all of it.
We know.
Okay, all right. But I'm
rooting
for the Knights this weekend.
You're not rooting for the home team. It's okay.
I'm not rooting for the home team.
You could be the heel. You could be the villain here.
Somebody who is rooting for the home team and kind of wearing the colors, Charlotte Knights colors, Destiny Richards is live in Uptown Truist Field. Destiny, what can you tell us?
Yeah, thank you so much for noticing, by the way. You're the first person to notice. I am wearing Charlotte Knights blue, even though I'm a little bit warm. I had to rep this morning. But opening night is tonight. Yes, it's going to be a great evening here at Truist Field. It's really been great to see the views really from Truist Field this morning. There's been some prep going on here at the field. Some of the seats getting cleaned and the field being mowed this morning. We could not step on the field because it has to stay nice and pretty. But everything you need to know about opening night is that it is at 7:04. That's when the first pitch is. But the action starts before that. 5 to 7 p.m. is Fan Fest. You can expect live music, giveaways, great food, all right outside of Truist Field. That's going to be again from 5 to 7. It's absolutely free. And then you don't want to miss being one of the first 8,500 fans to get into the field, get into the ballpark for the game, because you get a rally towel if you're one of the first 8,500. And then again, first pitch starting at 7:04. Again, it's going to be a great game versus the Durham Bulls. And make sure you stay to the end because you don't want to miss the fireworks show. So that's all happening for opening night. Again, beautiful views here from Truist Field. The skyline is going to be great with those fireworks. But if you can't make the game tonight, you can still watch them go against the Durham Bulls tomorrow and on Sunday. So 2 more games. First pitch at 6:05 tomorrow. Before then, there will be an autograph signing. There will also be a drone show after the game. And then on Sunday, first pitch is at 1:05. And there will be $2 hot dogs. And get this, a chance to run the bases on the field. Not just kids this year. It has been kids for the previous years, but everyone, the whole family gets a chance to run the bases after the game. So we talked with Rob Egan, who's the general manager, this morning, and he really talked about how they've been listening to fans and they really wanted a full experience, not just watching the game, but more entertainment. So they're going to have more live music, more characters, not just their mascot Homer, a lot more entertainment for the whole family. There are a lot of diehard baseball fans that show up, but it's really a fun family experience as well. I personally love the baseball experience. I have been rooting for the Texas Rangers my entire life as a Texas native, and I just love the baseball experience, trying the food, being outside and hearing the music, and it's just a great time. So if you want to join and be a part of the experience tonight, again, opening night, 7:04 is when first pitch is, and then Fan Fest from 5 to 7. Tickets are still on sale for this game tonight and the games this weekend. All of that info is in this story on the WCNC News app. I'll send it back to you guys in the studio.
Man, yeah, you talk about the Texas Rangers. Carlene and I root for the Braves. So
Braves.
Go Braves. This is
opening
we're
day
in Braves.
for them
We're in Braves.
too. We're in Braves country. But did you hear her? You can run the bases, Nick.
Get to run
it's
the
not
bases.
just the kids. You can go out there and you can run.
Destiny Richards, you still have time to run the bases if you want to. We'll wait. If you want to run the bases, it's fine. If you don't, it's fine. It's fine.
Oh no, I can't get on the field. But I did feel tempted to just like pretend I was and just around the side, just get a warm up in. But that would be so fun to run the bases.
Ask for forgiveness later.
Yeah.
Destiny Richards.
No, it's all good.
It's all good. Destiny Richards, thank you for your time. Yeah, it's an exciting time now. We're talking about opening day. A lot of folks are going to be out there, Fan Fest, out there at the game. I'll be rooting for the Charlotte Knights and the Charlotte. I want to tie.
Your heart is torn. I understand.
Torn.
You're torn.
And look, I know there are obviously different classifications. You have double A, triple A.
Sure.
I root for the Bulls on that level. But High Point, we have our own squad.
Yeah.
So look, I'm rooting.
I mean, I ride for the River Dogs.
There you go,
Charles
River Dogs.
Yeah.
A great experience. Minor league baseball. Fabulous experience. I gotta give. I've been to a River Dogs game.
Yep.
It's been years ago.
Right at the Joe. Mm-hmm.
Oh man, great experience. The Bulls, Truist. I mean, such a great experience. Been to a
I
game.
haven't gotten a chance to go to the Bulls. I've heard it's great. Our
Bulls,
Vanessa Rufus is a baseball girly, and she
Tampa
loves
Bay,
it. Yeah, she's
Tampa
a
Bay.
Yeah.
So great experience at the Bulls.
Yeah.
A lot of history surrounding all of these franchises in the Carolinas. So great experience. Look,
we got a great one up in Uptown. We have a beautiful ballpark.
Beautiful view, beautiful ballpark,
view.
very walkable.
Yeah.
Oh man,
Heart of everything.
Heart of everything. And Carlene's going to be at Barking Park at some point this
I
year.
will. Me and Turkey and Greg will be out there.
It's going to be hot, and Turkey's going to be all over Carlene.
That's right. He's a furnace, and he keeps me sweating.
He's a furnace. Shout out to Turkey. Shout out to Turkey. Let's head to break. We'll be back here in just 2 minutes here on Live Impact News on WCNC Plus. Welcome back here on Live Impact News on WCNC Plus. I'm Nick Sturdivant. So this weekend, no Kings protests happening here in our area and across the country. And make sure you stay with us here. We will have live coverage, streaming here on WCNC Plus and over on the WCNC Charlotte app from noon until at least 3 o'clock tomorrow with reports from Charlotte, Fort Mill, and Union County. Here's more on and more of a preview on that new No Kings Day of Action protest set to happen tomorrow.
We're gearing up for another day of No Kings protests tomorrow. Take a look. We're going to show you here in just a second. Each marker is a different protest happening around the Charlotte area. And you can see when we zoom out as well, it's not just regional. This thing is nationwide as well.
WCNC Charlotte's Richard Devane joins us live from First Ward Park in Uptown, one of the many locations folks will rally. Richard, good morning.
Good morning to you, Megan. Good morning, Ben. Good Friday morning, folks watching us on the Plus. Yeah, I'm standing right across the street from one of those locations, probably one of the bigger locations in our area, but there will be, as you said, events happening all around. The No Kings movement is returning to our area for the third wave of these nationwide protests. The primary local demonstration is scheduled from 12 to 3 here at First Ward Park in Uptown, with additional rallies planned all around our region. Now, as you look at that video of past events, organizers characterize the rallies as nonviolent response to recent federal actions and executive policies. Now, beyond the picket signs and folks coming out and dressing up and things like that, the primary goal of these rallies is connection. Organizers hope to build a sustained national resistance by linking neighbors together, and also, they say, to provide a clear path for attendees to get involved in local advocacy.
I know a lot of people in Charlotte who are affected by the One Big Beautiful bill that will take away their health insurance, folks having a reduction in food stamps. I've already seen an impact in the local food bank, the ministries that we support to feed children who are food insecure.
He's an instructor of business law who teaches the Constitution. Been scary, frustrating, and I just fear we're headed for a cliff.
Again, these are touted as non-violent protests, and there are trainings for folks and invitations for folks who want to come out and participate, as long as they do so non-violently. They say the major goal is to collectively come together so that people can then go in their communities and become better advocates for changing policies and systems that they don't like. We're right here in Charlotte in Uptown. This is Richard Devane. We'll send it back to you.
All right, and stay with us here on WCNC Plus this Saturday, tomorrow, from noon to at least 3. We will have live coverage, live reports from not only across our area, but across the nation where these No Kings protests are happening. Let's head to break. We'll be back here in just 2 minutes here on Live Impact News on WCNC Plus. Welcome back here on Live Impact News on WCNC Plus. I'm Nick Sturdivant. I'm currently being sold on going to the Pacific Northwest at some point. Not like actually moving there, but just vacation.
She's selling it well.
She's
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
He said he wants to be in a place where it's warm during
Yeah.
the day, nice and mild, and then it cools down at night. I will say don't go live there in the Pacific Northwest, but visit during July.
Okay.
Okay.
It'd be
'Cause
gorgeous.
I love the Carolinas.
You do.
Yeah, yeah,
But the thing about the Carolinas is that in the summertime, if it's 100 degrees during the day,
Yeah.
it's like 90 degrees at 9 o'clock at night.
It is weird. When I first moved to the South, I thought it was so odd. I was like, when does it ever cool down?
doesn't.
It doesn't.
It doesn't.
So odd.
It doesn't until like halfway through football season.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's like
Yeah.
October.
Yeah,
maybe.
October, yeah. That's
I've
when
had
you-
hot Halloweens.
Yeah.
You've had
yeah.
hot Halloweens. Yeah.
And I've had very cold Halloween.
Same.
So
Yeah.
it's I don't know here. We can't make up our mind.
And it's odd when it's nighttime and it's warm and muggy too at the
Yeah.
Oh,
same
yeah.
time. Like, this is just so odd.
Well, we'll see. Seattle, maybe
I'd like to
Portland,
visit Seattle.
somewhere in Oregon. I saw the eye twitch.
It's all
Seattle. We can agree on Seattle.
I'd like to go see Vancouver.
Yeah. I mean, it's all so different. Everything
Yeah.
is so different, and you find beauty within all of it.
Yeah.
That's a great PC answer.
Mm-hmm.
That's a great.
All of it. There's beauty everywhere.
Find the beauty everywhere. I'm sorry using that. We find the beauty
But
everywhere.
seriously, everywhere across the country, it's beautiful in different ways.
Great.
I love it.
Great safe answer.
But honestly, the weather over the last couple of days, have you liked it? Are you liking the warmer weather that we had
love.
yesterday?
love the warmer weather.
Okay.
Yeah.
Today, record warmth. That's a big story today, and then a cooler weekend, but still sunny this weekend.
I got a question. Okay,
Okay.
before we get into your forecast, because we got a little bit of time. Tomorrow morning, like around 9, 10. And I know you're going to get into this. This is a selfish request because
Okay.
I'm throwing out a first pitch.
Nick is selfish.
Oh, you
I'm
are?
not
You're
so-
throwing out
I
a
mean,
first
you
pitch?
said a selfish request. It's all about
Well,
Nick
this-
Sturdivant 24/7.
Well, I'm also looking out for the families and players and the
Okay.
people
Sure.
coming out. About that time, do I need to like layer up
Definitely.
around, like, do I
I
need to
would
wear a
say-
beanie or a hat?
I would do a hat,
Okay.
but that's coming from me. I don't think you need to pull out like your winter stuff.
But do I need a light jacket or do I need like a hoodie and a light jacket?
I would probably do a hoodie and a light jacket.
Okay. All
That's
right.
what I would do. Yeah, because generally tomorrow, about 60 degrees will be our high.
Yeah, oh, okay.
Sunshine, and that's our max. That's later on in the day.
Mm.
So earlier in the morning it's going to be cooler. Yeah.
Cool.
And especially if you add a little wind, you know how the wind is. Makes it feel a little
Cut right
cooler.
through you, yeah.
Makes it feel a little bit cooler.
Okay. All right. I'm
Sorry,
done.
I can't please
done.
you every
I'm
time.
done.
It's like
I'm
every
done.
time I come here, it's like Nick is like, well,
That's Nick. That's
you
Nick
know,
Sturdivant.
maybe
No, is that
Majestic
me?
will do better
Is that
next
me?
time. Maybe
what
next
I'm saying.
You made me
time.
sound like a hater. Well, I am a kind of a hater, but never mind.
Kinda.
You know. Let's get to the forecast.
Yeah.
Let's talk about something positive.
Yeah.
The weather today is probably a 10 out of 10 forecast for
Yes.
you. You got to think about the present moment
That's
because
right.
today
There
is
you
going
go.
to be gorgeous. So let's start with that. We have blue skies and sunshine, a little bit of high cloud coverage out there. This is coming in from Lylesville. They're in Anson County, but honestly, most of us were starting our day out like this. We're nice and dry. No big issues out there this morning. Temperatures so far, they're warming up pretty nicely. And that's going to be just the big story today, how warm it's going to be overall. We're forecasting highs rising back into the upper 80s today. Upper 80s to low 90 degree temperatures, and we're kind of just getting started for our day. But this upcoming weekend, we do have those changes ahead. Those changes, at least we get the sunshine. We'll have sunshine both Saturday and Sunday, but overall, those temperatures will be much cooler. So here's our weather headlines. Again, record highs today near 90 degrees. I do want to mention that we're watching a front push through. It is going to bring in some rain tonight. Scattered rain showers. We're really not impressed with the overall likelihood of getting the rain, but could we see some rain tonight? I think it's absolutely possible. With that, we'll see increasing clouds, and then by tomorrow morning, still mild, still going to be sunny Saturday and Sunday, but those temperatures are going to feel much colder, especially as the daytime highs today are almost 90 degrees, so 60 degrees tomorrow will feel significantly cooler. So current temperature temperatures right now. We're at 65 degrees there in Charlotte, 66 in Lancaster. We do have a bit of a southwesterly breeze today that's helping to crank up the heat. Yesterday we topped off at 81 degrees. It was beautiful. It was warm. This morning when I stepped outside, I noticed it was a little bit breezy, and that makes sense because once we have those southwesterly winds, they become breezy about 20-25 miles an hour, and then all of a sudden it turns warm. So that explains why today we're going to top off at 88, 89 degrees, and a lot of it has to do with the direction of the wind because those southwesterly winds, they're pushing in the warmer air, and then our overall temperatures are responding to that. Here's a look at our overall winds for the rest of our morning and heading into the afternoon. Again, an occasional 20 to 25 mile per hour wind gust is what you should plan for. So if you have any plans for your Friday, hopefully at some point it takes you outside, even if it's just walking outside during your lunch break, grabbing some lunch and getting some fresh air. Maybe you're heading out to the golf course today. It'd be a good day to do that or go for a nice long walk. Upper 80-degree temperature. So if you're somebody who doesn't love the heat, you got to get going sooner rather than later. And if you're new to the area and you're wondering, are these 80-degree temperatures the norm? Is this really where we should be? No, far from that. 67 degrees is our normal high for this time of the year. Notice in this graphic specifically, we have sunny skies right now and into the afternoon, but by tonight for your Friday evening, we will have a lot of cloud coverage, and that's part of that front that's going to be pushing through. Live camera coming in from all over, like Norman, Dallas, out there towards Monroe and Charlotte. Again, just a good mix of sun and clouds, but truthfully, the big story today is just how warm it is all across our area. 70 degrees there in Boone, a comfortable day there in the mountains. 70 in Blowing Rock, 66 up there towards Banner Elk, and as we head just to the south a bit through the foothills, plenty of sunshine, nice and dry throughout the afternoon. A high of 86 degrees today there in Morganton and Maiden, and then heading to the south, upper 80-degree temperatures. It's either going to be 88 or 89 degrees today, I think just kind of depending on how much cloud coverage we get and how fast those clouds move in. Then heading to the south, Chesterfield, plan for 89 degrees. So again, record warmth today. Our previous record for today was set way back in 1950. That was a long time ago, and it was 85 degrees. So bottom line, whether we hit 88 or 89, we're likely going to meet that record, break that record, and it's going to be much warmer than our normal high, again, of 67 degrees. Now, overnight tonight, increasing cloud coverage. So waking up tomorrow morning, temperatures will be right around those mid 40s, mid to upper 40s early in the day. So if you're heading out on your Saturday morning, I think we'll have a little bit of lingering cloud coverage with temperatures in the 40s. I think the rain will be done because remember, again, we're not getting a ton of rain. We'll get some, but again, that's not really the big story. Then once we're looking at our high temperatures tomorrow, this is when things really start to change, going from almost 90 degrees today to a high of 61 by our Saturday. Highs only into the 60s, low end 60s. Some areas not even touching 60 degrees. And the reason for that is because of that front that's pushing through. So while that front is increasing our winds, bringing us a little bit of wind, it's ultimately opening up the door for that cold northerly air to start settling back in. And remember, our typical high for this time of the year, 67. Tomorrow, 61, so we'll be below that, but not that far from it. We're way far away from it today with those very warm temperatures coming our way. So let's talk about the winds. Here's about 5 o'clock tonight if you have plans for your Friday evening. Overall, remember, a little bit more clouds, breezy winds. Those winds should hold off, or the rain showers should hold off until after sunset. And then once that front really pushes through, this is going to be Saturday morning, 7 o'clock. Remember, temperatures into the mid to upper 40s at this point, and it's going to be breezy tomorrow. So this is 7 o'clock in the morning, 20-25 mile per hour wind gusts, plus they're going to be coming in from the north. I don't know, Nick, you might actually want to grab a heavier jacket because of the winds. And I know he's a little bit of a wimp when it comes to the cold temperatures, so I'm just going to tell him he's probably going to want to grab. He's probably going to want to grab his big coat.
On a Friday.
Because here's the thing, I'm going to be coming back to work on Monday. He's going to say, Majestic, you told me to just wear my hat, and I needed my beanie, I needed my gloves, so I'm telling you.
So I need a beanie.
I'm telling you yes, because I would rather you be warm rather than not, because he's a a little dramatic, over the
Am
top
I
when it
dramatic?
comes to the cold. So I'm just saying it now.
Oh man, all right.
Will everyone else need that? Probably not.
All right.
But if you're a little wimpy to the cooler
Oh,
air,
here we go.
then I have a feeling there's going to be some people.
I'm a little bit of a wimp.
I have less.
Yeah.
I have less hair I'm
do.
working with.
You sure do.
True.
So there you
Beanie.
Beanie.
go. Man.
Okay, so the wind. I think the wind factor in the morning on Saturday morning is going to make it feel much colder. But at least we get the sunshine. When you're in the sunshine, it still feels like you're about 5 to 10 degrees warmer than the actual air. It's just going to be a little cool. All right. Moving on, as far as the rain chances go, we do have some small chances tonight. I mean, we're talking about isolated chances. Not very much. Saturday, Sunday, Monday, we are dry. Spotty chances return on Tuesday, and then another opportunity on Thursday there. So I know we need the rain. We've been talking about this for a while now, and we'll take any rain that we can get. But once this little system right here that we're looking at in satellite and radar gets to us, a lot of it just kind of fizzles out. You can see it moving in from the northwest to the southeast. Here's 5 o'clock tonight. This is why I mentioned that we'll see clouds tonight. Then once we pause time, 8 o'clock this evening, couple more showers, just really sprinkles at this point. Seems like the greater activity will be really from about Greensboro out towards Raleigh. But we could tap into a little bit of that. And then heading into our Saturday, here's about 7 o'clock in the morning. So waking up, we should be nice and beautiful, but again, a little cool and refreshing as you're heading out the door. 3-day forecast, you can see a big change in our weather pattern going from upper 80-degree temperatures today to 61 by tomorrow and 65 by Sunday. So Sunday gets a little bit warmer. But if you like the warmer weather, it is not the day for you to be out and about going on your morning run outside on Sunday, Nick, because temperatures will be in the 30s, 37 degrees. This forecast, my forecast is getting worse and worse for him.
Yeah.
I'm trying to figure out what day I should do my run. Should it be a Saturday? Should it be tomorrow? Should it be Sunday?
Saturday.
Well, do you like to run in the morning or in the afternoon?
Oh, you know I'm a morning.
Always
runner.
morning?
He's a morning guy.
Yeah, I get
Saturday.
up at.
Saturday.
I'd say never mind.
But
I'm not
both days are not going to be really that ideal.
But if you had to pick one.
I would definitely pick Saturday.
Okay, Saturday. Okay, I should listen to Carlene initially.
She's like, how many times do I have to tell you? I already told you 5 times.
Sorry.
Okay,
Carlene.
Jerry Hunt Supercenter 7-day forecast. We'll break this down. 88 degrees, record warmth today. If you're going to the Charlotte's Knights game tonight, should be pretty nice. Temperatures will be mild, little cloud coverage. We'll be watching for a few sprinkles, but we're not concerned about any storms. 44 tomorrow morning, so cold tomorrow morning. 61 for our high, still a little breezy. Sunday morning, 36 degrees, so that's going to be cold. So if you already did some planting, even though we said don't do it yet, hopefully you just did that in a pot where you can bring it inside or cover it, because we could even see a little bit of patchy frost Sunday morning. 65 though, temperatures will rebound nicely, and then next week it's all about the heat. We're looking at 80s returning on Tuesday, mid 80s on Wednesday, and then that's taking us towards our Easter weekend, where we could see some rain chances returning Thursday and into Friday. So that's what I have.
All right.
Sorry it doesn't make it that happy.
No,
but
I'm not going to hate on
it's
your
in the middle.
forecast.
It's in the middle.
Here's the thing. I love Majestic's forecast. I would never hate on Majestic's forecast.
Thank
I mean,
you.
I just want to get that. I mean, I got called a wimp, but
I'll say it how it is. I had to take it back. I forgot that I was talking to Nick, who's.
We should do a group 5K one morning.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Are y'all really going to do it?
Yes.
Okay. For real?
Yes.
Oh,
All right. Group 5K.
My goodness.
All right.
it's a team building activity.
I just.
You know what I mean?
I'm trying to stare in you guys' eyes
are you
just to make sure like you
Are you
guys.
trying to call a bluff or something?
What?
In.
Yeah. What's so hard to believe?
Oh, okay. All right. Okay.
You're working with athletes here too.
Keep up? What is this?
No, I never said that.
Just because we don't wake up at 5 in the morning to go run 10 miles doesn't mean we can't do it at 3K. I mean at 5K.
Right.
4:45. 4:45.
Oh my goodness.
Well, look, I'm in bed. I'm trying to do a better job of getting like 8 hours of sleep.
Yeah.
Right now I'm getting about 6.
Right.
But I'm trying to get. I'm working my way up.
That's
So
good.
7. I'm at
Yeah.
7 right now.
It makes such a big difference.
It does.
That's I was doing really good before the switch, the time change, but now I'm struggling.
Yeah, that time changes stuff.
Yeah.
But,
It's just hard because I just want to stay awake because I'm like,
Same.
it's bright, it's sunny, it's nice. I'm like, how in the world is it 7 o'clock?
Right.
But we'll put it on the calendar. 5K group 5K. We'll put it on the calendar at some point. Majestic, I'll hold you accountable. Thank you for your forecast. We love each other.
Yes, I will be there, and you'll be mighty impressed. You'll say, "Oh, she does know how to. She's an athlete too."
And we'll be flying.
I never said. Look,
I might even beat you.
We'll have a personal record. Yeah.
Look, I am a high school amateur athlete. Like,
No, you're not. You just did a half marathon
I
not too
did,
long
but I
ago.
didn't get far in my football career, a little league baseball
okay.
career. Track career lasted one practice. Okay. Like I didn't get far. I didn't get far.
Why'd
so
you quit track?
it was a hard practice.
He said, "This is not the live."
We'll talk about it during the break.
know.
Let's head to break. I'm sorry, guys. You're not privy to this conversation. We'll head to break. We'll be back here in just 2 minutes here on Live Impact News on WCNC Plus. Welcome back here on Live Impact News on WCNC Plus. I'm Nick Sturdivant. Man, we have a special interview that we had here earlier this morning. All right, so as the Charlotte Hornets push toward the playoffs, man, they won again. They beat the Knicks last night. We got some Knicks fans in the building.
We do. Greg came home late last night. He's like, "Babe, Hornets." He is buzzing. He is buzzing.
I see what you did there.
Right?
He's buzzing. He's buzzing. We're all buzzing.
We're all buzzing.
I'm happy. I always give this spiel. I told Carboni thinks that, I grew up a Hornets fan. I said,
sure.
Actually, I grew up a Lakers fan.
I didn't know that. That's news to me.
I grew up a Lakers fan.
Okay.
Shaq and Kobe era,
Sure.
Nick Van Exel. So I was that Lakers fan. So anyway, I'm rooting for the Hornets.
Of course.
Fast forward, I'm rooting for the Hornets. I always root for the Hornets. Hornets again pushing towards the playoffs. And Women's History Month wraps up. We're spotlighting a leader behind one of the team's most recognizable spirit squads. After a big Hornets win last night, we mentioned that. Anna Aboise, the head coach of the Honeybees, owner of the NC Dance District, and founder of Project Full Out.
She's a busy woman.
Busy woman. Whew, I got
I
exhausted
know.
just reading this resume. resume.
I know.
She stopped by here, spoke with Megan Bragg. Let's take a listen into the interview.
Well, an awesome time for the Charlotte Hornets, and it's great to be involved with the Hornets organization right now. They are just on such a hot streak, and because it is Women's History Month and it is wrapping up, we're going to show you someone that is in the full swing of it, really. After a big Hornets win last night, we welcome Anna, right?
Correct.
Okay, Boise. She's the head coach of the Honey Bees, I should say, and owner of NC Dance District and founder of Project Full Out. Mm-hmm. Anna, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me. I'm super excited.
Yeah, we were just saying, earlier, what an exciting time to just A, be in that arena, but B, to be involved in all of this. What is it like there?
It's electric, honestly. I mean, every time I walk into that arena, as I mentioned, I pinch myself that this is actually my job, but it's such an exciting time to be a Hornets fan. I think it's really energized, and from the moment that the first fan walks into this arena to the moment they walk out, as an NBA dancer, our primary job is to maintain that fan experience, and so our honeybees have just done an amazing job at doing that. Our performances have been on fire. Their energy is incredible. The fan interaction is like none other, and so it's just been a really fun time. I'm really, really proud of this incredible group of women.
And I'm sure, though, too, with all those fans there, I'm sure it gives the girls just even more, hypeness and wanting to dance and perform, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, our performances, we have had to take them up a notch because of the winning streak and all the fun, and so they've really leaned into my crazy ideas and creativity and trying to do more production style performances and storytelling, just to keep the fans super engaged, and they've been so receptive to it. So it's been a fun ride.
Okay, so how do you continue to empower these women and keep them excited?
Yeah, I just remind them to be their full self. Show up every day, never dim your light. Just really lean into the gift of dance that God has given to all of them, and just allow that to be their driving force, and remembering why they're doing it, why they're there. And that's something that we talk about as a little pep talk. We do a little circle prayer before we go out there, just to get our minds right and prepare for the really, really intense, busy day. But yeah, just remind them to be your full self, never dim your light. Always remember why you're doing it and why you're here, and stay rooted into that gratitude, and just enjoy the ride, enjoy the moment every single day. Every single day.
Okay, you're the first black coach of the Honeybees in 20 years, also an alumni. How has your team evolved, and what does it mean to you as a coach?
Yeah, well, talk about full circle moment. I was actually on the team 20 years ago. Yeah. So it's definitely been a full circle moment. I love that I lead such a diverse team in itself, and it's something that I just hold with such a high regard. It's such an honor. Historically, the Honeybees have always been known for precision and performance and glam, and so the evolution is really just how creatively we can be at displaying that and maintaining that standard, and even more so, it's just amazing to be a part of an organization where diversity is not only celebrated, but is naturally woven into who we are as an organization, as a team, and really as a city. So it's a beautiful thing to be a part of. I'm so deeply grateful. Yeah.
And tell me a little bit about your dance studio and how it is juggling, both things, right?
Honey, it's a lot. And talk about an intense season, and the studio, so it's like my child. We turned 15 years old in October, and it was such a joy to see it evolve into where it is today. I opened a studio 15 years ago because I felt there was a void of an establishment where aspiring dancers can continue their career outside of just the normal kid studio. And so as an NBA dancer, as someone that was really interested in getting into the business, into the industry, I wanted to create an environment that was supportive but also provided quality instruction. And so our mission is to create countless opportunities for local dancers to train, perform, and live out their dreams. And so that has been the driving force with the studio. And we have girlies in their 20s all the way up to their 60s coming through the studio and having a blast. And so it's just been a beautiful thing to watch.
And also on top of of that, you also have a nonprofit, Project Full Out. You are a busy, busy girl.
Yes, I'm a busy bee. Yes, I am.
Tell us a little bit more about that.
So Project Full Out is our performance platform and obviously our nonprofit. So we have the studio at Dance District, but when the girlies want a little bit of an extra moment and they want to feel like Beyonce on the stage, we have this performance platform where over the course of 6 to 8 weeks, we'll have a concentrated training program, and there's no pre-requirements. You don't have to have a super extensive dance background. Just be committed to yourself, and we produce a whole show. And it's big lights, camera, action, big production, and it's just so amazing to watch. So I see them transform from like shy in the studio just with their girlies to like on a stage, and you can't tell them anything. You would think they were like the star of the show, and so it's a beautiful thing. We call them second chance dancers, and it's just a way for them to kind of continue to live out their dreams.
And if people want to get involved in that, or how can they find information on that?
We are on all platforms all over, so either search for Project Full Out. You can go to projectfullout.com for information on our nonprofit and our performance platform, ncdancedistrict.com for the studio, and of course you can find the honeybees at the Spectrum Arena.
Do you have a question?
I do actually.
Okay, yes,
I can answer myself, and like you do so much with dance. I mean, I know it's just demanding on your mind and your body. Like, what fuels you?
Yeah. Honestly, dance is such a universal language. For me, even when I was on the stage and as a performer, it was never just about performance, but how it helped me connect with people. And just having that common language and that common, like, okay, this is our moment, we're about to have a good time, have fun. The joy that comes out of being able to put a smile on someone's face or make them feel good and empowered. So I always remind myself about that when my knees are a little achy, when my neck is kind of stiff, you know. It's just like, it's more than just yourself, it's how you connect and really pour into other people. Right. I believe that's what the gift of dance is about, uplifting and pouring into someone else, and you know, spreading that joy and like making their day a little bit brighter.
Right.
Well, thank you so much.
Yes, thank you so much. And if you check out the Hornets and see the honeybees just busting out those moves, know that this lady is the one behind it, okay?
Thank you.
Anna, thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you so much for having me.
And we'll be right back.
And like Meg said, we'll be right back. We're going to take a 2-minute break. We'll be back here on Live Impact News on WCNC Plus. Welcome back here on Live Impact News on WCNC Plus. I'm Nick Sturdivant. Well, let's head now to Washington, D.C. We're happening right now. The Warrior Act press conference is underway, and basically this is a press conference with lawmakers introducing the Warrior Act. The bill aims to codify the role of women in the military. Let's take a listen in.
It as quickly as possible. Thank you so much. I'm going to turn it over now to Representative Cisneros.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Congressman Gil Cisneros, and I represent California's 31st Congressional District. I want to thank my colleagues, Rep. Houlihan, Rep. Goodlander, for their leadership in introducing this legislation. Military service changed my life, and I take pride in the time that I spent in the Navy. And I believe anyone wanting to make the sacrifice should be given equal opportunity and access to serve our country. As a United States Navy veteran and former Undersecretary of Defense, I can say some of the best individuals I have served with have been women. And it's ridiculous that their value to our country in uniform is continuously being questioned by this administration. It's the 21st century, yet language for employment guidelines and military readiness standards is centuries behind. And as has been said, our current Secretary of Defense, Pete Hegseth, wants to take us back even further and deny women their opportunity to serve. What he wants to do is place in regulations that would have a glass ceiling preventing women service members from reaching their potential, not allowing them to serve and not be aligned with their strengths. I want to be clear. Women in combat roles have and do meet the fitness standards required for their job. The recurring threats to remove their ability to be in these roles has nothing to do with their fitness ability. Just last year, we had the first woman compete and complete the U.S. Army's three-day Best Ranger competition. Over 4,500 women currently serve in combat-related roles. No one bent the rules on fitness standards to get them there. They earned it by their merit. The introduction of the Warrior Act will make military service members more inclusive by removing gender-based exclusions in jobs, improving transparency from the Department of Defense, and increasing congressional oversight. With this legislation, we can ensure that anyone qualified for a military service role is eligible to be considered through fair, holistic evaluation based on their ability, regardless of their gender identity. In our globalized world, it is important that our nation's defense are as strong as possible, and diversity is an asset. This legislation makes the military inclusive for qualified individuals to serve. Thank you for joining us today for the introduction of this important legislation. And with that, I'll turn it over to my colleague, Representative Goodlander.
Thank you, Gil. Kayla, I think you should be the Secretary of Defense. Just want to say that at the top. Sue, it's an honor to be with you, and to all my colleagues, especially to Congresswoman Chrissy Houlihan, the ultimate warrior. I would go to battle with you anywhere, Chrissy, and I'm grateful that you brought us all together this morning. I represent the state of New Hampshire, and our motto is live free or die. America, to just put it plainly, we are the land of the free because we are the home of millions of women who have worn the uniform, who have raised their hand, sworn an oath to our Constitution, put their lives on the line, answered the call to serve. We've got 250 years of glorious history where we've seen time and time again women step up to the fight to serve our country, to make us the greatest fighting force the world has ever known. This has been through grit, through excellence, through commitment, and through a deep love for our country and our Constitution. Over the last year, we've seen so many times an administration and a Secretary of Defense who has no business serving in that role, who defies common sense, who defies our Constitution, and well, we have him at it once again here. We are introducing the Warrior Act because it is a common sense bill that's going to make our military stronger, it's going to make our country safer, and that's going to vindicate the most basic principle of our Constitution, that if you are up for the job, if you can meet the standards, in America you get a fair shot. And that's what brings us here today. It's an honor to be working alongside these patriots who love our country, who've got the common sense that we need right now in America, in the middle of a war of choice and a crisis of the president's own creation. So may God bless our troops, may God bless this great country, and let's get the Warrior Act signed into law. Thank you.
That is a conclusion of our remarks. We are grateful to you for your tenacity and happy to answer questions should you have them. That's it. Thank you. It's a wrap.
Thank you.
All right, so that press conference just wrapping up. Let's take a quick break. We'll be back here in just 2 minutes here on Live Impact News on WCNC Plus. Welcome back here on Live Impact News on WCNC Plus. I'm Nick Sturdivant. Man, some big news in the world of college basketball yesterday. Men's basketball head coach Will Wade announced he is leaving the Wolfpack, and he says he made a deeply personal decision to return to LSU. So just to kind of recap, he was a head coach at LSU, left during a controversial time, eventually landed here at NC State. First season as NC State's head coach, and leaves a big shocker for a lot of fans, a lot of folks who follow college basketball. So again, Will Wade headed back to LSU to become the head coach there at LSU. So yesterday we heard from NC State's athletic director, Boo Kerrigan, who spoke after departure of Will Wade. Some interesting comments there. Let's take a listen in to what he had to say.
I just want to thank everyone for coming out today. I think Phillip Rivers said it, right? And thinking about who we are, what we are, the Wolfpack ain't for soft people. We're going to go find a coach that agrees and understands who we are and what we are. For the past 7 years, we built a culture in the athletic department based on trust and accountability. We got coaches that want to be at NC State. They want to be a part of who we are, what we are, and represent this great university. We thought we had someone that came in last year to lead our men's basketball program. And over the course of the last year, we had developed a relationship that I believe was based on trust and accountability. there were a number of different conversations that had occurred over the past year involving our program, involving everything else in the landscape of college sports, including Tuesday evening for 2 hours to talk about the entire program and scheduling and the players and staff and everything that goes into that. There was no reason for me in my job not to believe the words that I was hearing coming back to me from Coach Wade. And I believe everyone here saw it, wrote about it, whatever it is, that I want to be at NC State. That's where I want to be. I look forward to growing it. I was as surprised and shocked as anyone else as this occurred, based on the previous conversations that we had had. I believed he was telling me his true intentions. I'm disappointed for our athletic department. I'm disappointed for our fans, and I'm disappointed for our university that we're here today. That being said, as soon as we received notice of his resignation, the search began. And we are committed to finding the next coach for our men's basketball program that wants to be at NC State, that understands who we are, that understands that we're a tough school, that understands that we're a great academic institution, that understands that our fan base has very high expectations and can embrace that. I believe everyone felt this year, being in the Lenovo Center, what this can be. And with 5 sellouts this year, and to hear the roof raised at different times during different games because of our fan base, because of our students and their ability to connect, that's what our mission is, and that's what we're going to accomplish. Questions?
If you guys would wait, we've got a microphone. Cameron will bring to you.
How much was the buyout?
How much is the buyout? We good?
Yeah, we're good.
Yeah. So the buyout, we everything's a negotiation, right? As you're looking at everything that's going on, and as we were talking through this, I believe everyone knows prior to April 2nd, the buyout was going to be $5 million. After April 2nd, the buyout was going to move to $3 million. We settled at a $4 million buyout. The reason we did that is to pick up the days in between today, which I think is the 26th, right? Today's the 26th until the 2nd, as opposed to having to wait until the 2nd. So for us, being able to move forward was just as, not just as important, but we understood the dollar amount versus the value of time, and we chose to settle at $4 million.
All right, so that was NC State's athletic director speaking out, saying some pretty interesting comments there.
Did not hold back.
Did not hold back at all after Will Wade decides to leave that job at NC State to go back to LSU. All right, let's go to Columbia. So happening right now, the South Carolina Department of Transportation and South Carolina Department of Public Safety hosting a joint press conference to announce major updates and initiatives focused on improving road safety across South Carolina. Let's take a listen to that.
That changing statistics, reducing fatal and serious injury crashes is not something that happens overnight. It's a long game. You got to work at it. It's like chopping wood. You got to get up every morning and try and push at it and make safety the most important thing that you do. I could tell you when I was director of traffic engineering, every Monday morning I sent out the DPS statistics so that our staff knew that reducing crashes, reducing fatalities was the most important thing they needed to do that day, that week, that year. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Director Woods. He's not only somebody I look up to as director of DPS, but he's a friend and a colleague. And then following him, Secretary of Transportation Justin Powell will be speaking. So thank you.
Thank you, Rob, and good morning. I'm Rob Woods, Director of the South Carolina Department of Public Safety. I want to thank Secretary Powell and the Department of Transportation, not just for the opportunity to speak here this morning, but for their continued partnership as we seek new and innovative ways to reduce collisions and fatalities in South Carolina. I also want to acknowledge the many law enforcement leaders and agencies who are standing in solidarity in this mission of saving lives on our roadways. Thank you for being here. If you ask any one of our troopers, they will probably tell you that the worst part of their job is having to go to someone's home and tell them that a loved one had just been killed in a traffic collision. That happened 1,198 times in 2021, making it the deadliest year on South Carolina's roadways in history and surpassing the previous record that was set in 1972. As traffic deaths increased, the Department of Public Safety began exploring ways in which our troopers and officers could not only be more strategic in their enforcement efforts, but also more proactive. Since then, we have partnered with the Department of Transportation on several initiatives that collectively have helped us work towards reducing traffic fatalities in South Carolina to their lowest numbers in more than 10 years. This change did not happen overnight, and we acknowledge that even one life lost on the roadways is one too many. But such a dramatic decrease in roadway fatalities means there has been an equally dramatic increase in people getting to their destinations safely, and that is something to be celebrated. This means more lives are being lived, more family get-togethers happening, and more memories are being made. One of the most crucial tools the Department of Public Safety has relied on has been partnerships, which allows us to share information and combine our efforts to improve roadway safety collectively. Each year we receive data from our state and local partners to compile, develop, and produce the South Carolina Traffic Collision Fact Book. This publication allows us to gauge where collisions are happening, what kinds of collisions are happening, when they are happening, and the causes or contributing factors of those collisions, which helps us shape and guide our enforcement efforts to ensure we have the most impact. We took a huge step towards data-driven enforcement in 2021 when we announced our area coordinated enforcement teams. These targeted teams have a sole focus on fatality reduction, and they use collision and citation data along with data from SCDOT to direct their enforcement at locations and times of day we are seeing the most collisions and dangerous driving habits take place. We believe we are seeing success in saving lives because we are using this data to direct troopers and officers to where they are most needed and where they can be most effective. As speed and aggressive driving continue to be leading causes of fatalities in South Carolina, we rolled out equipment upgrades that enable our troopers to better detect and apprehend these dangerous behaviors before a collision occurs. In July of 2021, specialty vehicles were added to the Highway Patrol fleet, including new colors and racing stripes on unmarked Dodge Chargers. More recently, in January, we released 18 new unmarked and marked Mustangs into our fleet with the intention of adding more marked Mustangs next year. Additionally, we partnered with DOT last year to develop and deploy mobile speed trailers where blue lights are activated when motorist speed is detected above the speed limit set in a construction or work area. Earlier this year, our two departments unveiled the virtual weigh station, the first in the nation that allows our state transport police to identify overweight commercial motor vehicles through sensors in the highway. This notice is then sent to an SDP officer nearby who initiates a traffic stop and completes a thorough inspection before enforcement citations are issued. This is the definition of working smarter, not harder. And this project is the culmination of years-long collaboration between DOT, the State Transport Police, and our Department of Office of Information Technology. But reducing traffic fatalities involves much more than the Highway Patrol, the State Transport Police, or even DPS and DOT. We rely on partnerships with our local, state, and federal law enforcement agencies and prosecutors from each region of the state, all focusing specifically
All right, so that is a joint press conference happening with SCDOT and SCDPS, Department of Public Safety, announcing new safety initiatives. All right, we want to come back out with some breaking news that we just got into our newsroom. A homicide investigation underway in North Charlotte. So we just got this news within the last 5 minutes or so. Here's a map to give you an idea of where this investigation is going, or happening rather. So this is happening on High Glen Drive, 3100 block of High Glen Drive. Again, this is in North Charlotte in the University City Division. Let me read what CMPD has their blurb they have put out. So they say detectives with the Charlotte Mecklenburg Police Department's homicide unit are conducting a homicide investigation in the 3100 block of High Glen Drive. More information will be released. And so, again, as more information comes out, we will be sure to update you on this breaking news situation. Again, a homicide investigation underway in North Charlotte. I believe our Destiny Richards is on the way there. She'll have updates for us as soon as she get there, and as soon as she delivers those updates, we'll pass it along to you here on WCNC Plus. All right, so let's head to break. We'll be back here in just 2 minutes here on Live Impact News on WCNC Plus. Welcome back here on Live Impact News on WCNC Plus. I'm Nick Serderman. We are following some breaking news out of North Charlotte. This is a look at the general area where CMPD is investigating a homicide. They are specifically on the 3100 block of High Glen Drive. Again, CMPD homicide unit, they're conducting a homicide investigation. Limited details right now, but as soon as we get more information, we'll be sure to pass it along here on Live Impact News, WCNC Plus. Our Destiny Richards is headed to the scene to fill us in on what's going on. This is not far from, this is right off of W.T. Harris Boulevard. And am I reading this correctly? North Lake?
I don't know. I'm not sure if that's the mall
or
if it's
just the area.
The
Okay.
area, yeah. It's
apartment complex. Okay, I saw North Lake, so I was okay. So again, W.T. Harris Boulevard again, a very popular, busy roadway here in our area. Mm-hmm. So this is in the University City Division for CMPD. Just giving you a heads up if you are in and around this area. All right, so let's head back. Do we want to go back to Columbia, Carlene?
Yes.
Let's head back to Columbia. We're happening right now. SCDOT and also Department of Public Safety announcing new safety initiatives. Let's take a listen in.
And high friction surface treatments, improved clear zones, and eliminating vertical drop-offs to enhance safety measures on our roads. These solutions are researched and designed specifically for each rural roadway project to produce the most optimal results depending on the current roadway conditions. Now, they may seem like small changes, but when they are made together, they make a big difference, helping drivers stay in their lanes, stay alert, and recover safely if they happen to drift off the road. Engineering solutions like these are designed to anticipate human error and reduce the likelihood that a mistake turns into a tragedy. At the end of the day, safer road design saves lives, and we're committed to continuing this work all across South Carolina. That's why we're proud to announce the 2025 to 2029 Strategic Highway Safety Plan. This plan represents a collaborative effort bringing together stakeholders from across the state, including transportation professionals, law enforcement, and other community stakeholders. Safety is a shared responsibility, and this plan reflects it. The plan is grounded in data. We've carefully analyzed crash trends and risk factors to identify priority areas where they can make the greatest impact. Together, these strategies support our 5-year vision to significantly reduce the roadway fatalities and serious injuries on South Carolina's highways. And this is an ambitious goal, but it's one we believe is achievable, and through continued partnership, innovation, and our commitment to safety. And safer roads alone aren't enough. Driver behavior remains a critical factor. Today, in partnership with the Department of Public Safety, we are launching the Be That Driver Awareness Campaign, a statewide initiative designed to educate and encourage personal responsibility behind the wheel and to reduce crashes and fatalities across South Carolina. In addition to increasing understanding of our strategic highway safety plan, this campaign will also share clear, practical steps that drivers, cyclists, and pedestrians can take to help reduce fatal and serious injury crashes and motivate the South Carolina public to make safe choices every time they use our public roadways. As we jointly launch this campaign, we encourage you to visit the websites of both DPS and the Department of Transportation, as well as follow us on social media to find the Be That Driver campaign information out there. We appreciate y'all being out here today, and we're happy to take, Director Woods and I are happy to take any questions that y'all might have.
Yeah, I guess for Director Powell, when did the Rural Road Safety Program get started? Was it right after 2017?
Sure, yeah. In the 2017 roads bill, which was done by the General Assembly, it actually included a requirement that we had to dedicate funding for targeted rural roads, and then certainly thereafter we did a data-driven approach that really looked at the 5% of roadways in the state where 30% of our fatalities were occurring. And so that began that initiative. We started off with a goal of 1,000 miles of work. Already 8 years into our 10-year plan, we already have gotten 1,200 miles of it underway towards our goal of getting 1,300 miles done by the end of our 10-year plan.
I guess to both of y'all, or either, obviously, as you mentioned, driver behavior is a massive factor in these roadway collisions and ultimately fatalities. But how much do you think roadway conditions is a factor as well?
Well, I'll start off and say, I think, and I'll let Director Woods chime in about how enforcement and behavior play into that in terms of DUI, speed, all of those issues that law enforcement handles better. I think the improving condition of our roadways that we have been working on over the past 10 years help get that better. And I think because in our 10-year plan we had the road safety program where we are improving the pavements, where we're adding markings, where we're adding shoulders, those improvements make a difference. It's the same thing on our interstate system where we are targeting those corridors, whether by improving safety on them or adding capacity to them or making those roadways safer.
Sure, absolutely. I think there's absolutely no question, just as a motorist, that we see improved roadway conditions in any number of safety projects on the part of the Department of Public Safety, or excuse me, on the Department of Transportation, that it addresses some critical roadway features that have been problematic in the past. You see, for example, some of the traffic circles that have been added to minimize high-speed angular collisions. Those things are critical as they are in all the 3 E's of highway safety: enforcement, education, and engineering. Of course, modifying behavior is one of the things that remains in the forefront. There's absolutely no question about the fact that DUIs, speeding, and failure to wear a seatbelt are what cause most deaths and fatal collisions. So that remains our focus.
What about the number of DUIs? Have those dropped also?
Bill? Those are actually, in terms of the number of DUIs, those remain actually relatively consistent. There may have been a slight downturn. I'll get you the exact numbers, but those numbers remain actually relatively consistent.
Anything else? All right, well, we appreciate y'all coming out today for this effort and initiative of keeping, working out to continuously improve traffic safety across South Carolina. So thank you.
All right, so that is that joint press conference with Department of Public Safety, also South Carolina Department of Transportation there in Columbia, announcing new safety initiatives. All right, let's come back out here and let's take a quick break. We'll be back here in just 2 minutes here on Live Impact News on WCNC Plus. All right, welcome back here on Live Impact News on WCNC Plus. I'm Nick Sturdivant. So we played a chunk of this a little earlier before we got to the SCDOT press conference, but we heard from NC State's athletic director. He had some interesting remarks after the departure of Will Wade. Surprising news for a lot of fans, a lot of folks around college basketball. Will Wade deciding to go back to LSU after leaving in controversy there. Again, unexpected news. We heard from Boo Carrigan, athletic director from NC State. So we want to take you back to that press conference.
To believe that LSU was in touch with Wade before the end of the season?
I think that's a question you need to ask LSU and you need to ask Coach Wade. I've got my own thoughts on where we are. I know that the number of times we had conversations about the job, including one time where it was, do we need to talk about this? And the answer was no. I believe a number of people may have been at the ACC tournament where the answer was a definitive, I'm going to be here. After we lost in the ACC tournament to Virginia, there was another confirmation. After the NCAA tournament, there was another confirmation. So I think that's a better question answered by LSU and answered by Coach Wade.
And when were you actually aware of the resignation?
Yesterday morning, as I came into work. Again, you're aware of rumor and innuendo, but I don't know if y'all know this or not, the internet has a lot of rumor and innuendo on it, right, is what's going on. So again, as we looked at that, it became apparent that this could be a potential outcome. And at that point in time, we engaged in conversations.
Boo, Michael Perchik, ABC 11. Was there ever a meeting that you had scheduled with Coach Wade this week in which he chose not to show up for?
There was.
What was your reaction? Did you give any sort of communication that he was not going to show up to that meeting, or he simply just no-showed and you've not heard from him?
Yeah, he no-showed. As well as we did have other meetings. I don't want to say that. There were other phone calls and there were other face-to-face meetings. But there was also one that was missed.
The transfer portal starting, how much does that speed things up? And how open are you to maybe assistant coaches or people that aren't just college head coaches? And how different is it compared to, say, last year's search?
I don't know that it's a whole lot different than last year's search. If anything, with the transfer portal moving to the end of the Final Four, maybe there's a little bit less from that standpoint. We want to find the right person for NC State, right? And what that looks like. We need to make sure that we have a person that's committed to this university, that wants to be at this university, that shares our values of trust and accountability, that will lead this program. Where it goes, well, these things are kind of living organisms, right? You think it's going to go down this path, and then it takes a left turn or a right turn as we go down it, but we're going to find the right person.
I may have missed this earlier, but at what point did you start coming up with a board or start coming up with an idea of who might be the next head coach for NC State?
I'm not I don't have a top drawer in my desk to pull out where all the names are, but you always know what's going on and try to pay attention for what's going on. Did I think it was going to be us at this point? No, I did not. But do you have friends that are in my role at other schools that you want to be able to talk with and understand the landscape of what's going on? 100% you do. But like I said, as soon as we received notification of the resignation, we started. I also don't believe in doing something before you know the final outcome. I think there's a lot of people that, actually I don't know if there's a lot of people that do this, but my perception at times is people move before anything's done, and I don't like that idea. I like the idea of knowing exactly where you end and then you start. Much like today is going to be the end of Coach Wade. And then we're going to go find a coach, and then we're going to celebrate the new coach as we move forward.
This might be a dumb question, but what was just your initial reaction when you saw the resignation?
Disappointment. right? Probably more than anything else, you spend a year getting to know someone, right? And you get to know their staff, and you get to know the people around them. And these jobs aren't easy, right? I'm not complaining. I love what I do for a living, right? But at times, you know, you're pouring into other people. It's more about other people's journey than it is yours. I don't care about my journey. That'll be when Chris and I retire, and whenever, in 10 years, we can sit back and look at that. But you spend a lot of time, personally, your staff spends a lot of time making sure that people have the resources that they need, right? Making sure that the answer to the best of your ability is yes, right? We don't say no just to say no. We don't play games with our coaches. We don't posture and do those things. If we can help, we're going to do everything we can to help. So I would say disappointment.
Part of the reporting around it was the NIL number to have to build a roster. Where would you say that kind of stands going for the new?
We're going to be competitive. We were competitive this year with our NIL. We've been competitive with our program in general. You look at who we play, where we go, how we travel, everything about our program is not missing, right? I believe Coach Wade was very, when he got here, very much in line with we have everything we need, right? I feel like we have everything we need, and we're going to do everything we can to be as competitive as we can and compete for a national championship.
And then you mentioned you're looking for a coach that fits the NC State. What are some traits you're looking for in a coach, and does it have to be a sitting head coach at this point?
No, I don't think it has to be a sitting head coach at this point. I think we want to find someone, one, that knows how to coach, right? And is a great coach. It has the ability to connect with people, right? Both internal, external, with the players, be able to recruit. You have to be a good recruiter in this day and age. You have to understand what's going on with NIL, what's going on with the transfer portal. How do you put your team together, right? Have a plan to put your team together. I think we saw this year, maybe if some of our players were 4 inches taller, it could have been a little bit better, right? No shade on our players this year, but the importance of a rim protector has really become something more definitive in college basketball, and we need to make sure that we have someone to come in here that knows how to build a roster, knows how to put the pieces together in a right way to have a very competitive team.
Hey, Patrick Thomas from Spectrum News 1. While so much focus is on, well, waiting to get confirmed that Coach Wade did, and now you're talking about, I want to quickly dive into the ACC, the state of it, and how, while there have been successive years of increases in revenue, it's not necessarily keeping up with the SEC and Big Ten. How do you think that factors into your ability to draw in the right candidate for a place like NC State?
NC State's a great university. I think the ACC is a great league. We live in Raleigh, North Carolina. I think there's so many attractive aspects of who we are and what we are. It's up to us. It's incumbent upon us in the athletic department to find the dollars, to be able to rev share, to be able to work with Learfield, be able to work with corporations, be able to find those dollars in the market. But we've got an unbelievably strong base to work from. We spent a lot of time, comparison's a thief of joy. Right, and we believe that in our athletic department, that we need to do everything we can to make NC State the best NC State we can be, and then let other people compete with us. So is it a factor? It could be, but again, that's a better question for Coach Wade.
CBS 17. Pack fans always pulling out. How do you reassure them that everything's going to be okay?
How great was the Lenovo Center this year, right? I mean, how much fun was it to be in there with all the people and sharing the passion that we have for this great university? I think you can look at some of the coaches that we've hired and the success that they've had. I think you can look at the university itself, right, and what a strong university we have, and finding someone that just connects, right, that fits in with who we are, believes in what we do at NC State, is a heck of a coach. Clean my language up. Is a heck of a coach, right? Can find people, can build a team, can build a roster, can surround themselves with the right people, right, to be able to take us to a level beyond this year. I mean, it's great going to the NCAA tournament, right? But it's better going to the NCAA tournament and winning a couple games, and that certainly is what our expectation is.
Can you share anything in terms of what the conversations were with Coach Wade when you did meet? Was it him asking for certain further support, further investment? And when you did learn of his resignation, did he directly tell you that he was resigning, or you found out through an agent, or share how that kind of played?
Yeah, I mean, we, again, go back to Tuesday night, we talked about everything in the program and what we can do, who we're going to play. You can't really talk, transfer portal's not open, so you can't talk about this person or that person. We talked about last year's team and who was going to be back. Asked him what he needed, right? What do we need to be competitive? From there, as far as the resignation letter, it was an email, right, that we received from his agent, and talking with his agent.
So he did not reach out to you directly?
Not from that standpoint.
What have you been able to say to the players with remaining eligibility? And is there anybody who, I don't know if the interim coach is the right word, but anybody that will be a conduit, I guess, until the transfer portal begins?
Yeah, we're
coach gets hired.
Yeah, we have some people that are still in the building that have been in contact with the student athletes. I have personally not spoken with the student athletes. I've been a little tied up on other things, but we have senior staff members that have reached out to our student athletes to let them know that we are available, want to help whatever they need from a workout standpoint, from a trainer standpoint, and rehab and those types of things. But you know, a lot of this in this day and age, there's going to be a lot of movement. Right, there's going to be a lot of movement with the team, and we want to make sure the ones that are here that are committed to NC State know that that commitment is from us as well, and whatever decision they make at that point, it's going to be up to them and whoever we hire.
Going off of that, is there a specific team of people in place right now to kind of help the transition from Wade to whoever the next?
Yeah, there are. There are. It's our training staff, our strength and conditioning staff. With all this happening today, I'm not sure, from a strength and conditioning standpoint, if that person is going to go with Coach Wade or not go with Coach Wade. And the trainer, are they going to go with Coach Wade or not go with Coach Wade? We did have meetings today with the head of strength and conditioning, with the head of our athletic training, as well as nutrition, to make sure that we have people in place to make sure that our students are taken care of.
You said that you got the resignation email from his agent that he hadn't reached out. To be clear, he has not reached out since then at all? Or have you spoken to him?
I have not spoken to Will since yesterday at noon. Probably about 1 o'clock by the time the meeting ended.
Any other questions, Rob?
Obviously, this is fresh.
Sure.
When you're going through the process of looking for the next person, and I don't think you can guarantee this by any stretch, but how much of a priority is going to be? I want someone that looks at this as an in-game destination instead of a jumping point.
It's a priority, right? And I believe we're that school, right? I believe we're a school that someone can stay for 10 years and have an unbelievably great run here. So that's 100% what we're looking for, right? We don't want to be a stepping stone on the way to another job. And again, we thought we had that, right? In every conversation, in every release, and everything that was out there, we believed that we had that, right? So we're going to go out and find someone again.
And my final question, sir. Again, through no fault of your own, I don't think. There's a lot of people, particularly the ones in NIL, that subsidize the success of athletics, that feel disappointed, maybe even feel like they were lied to. How do you speak to them in regards to what you're going to do in the future, and to sort of say, hey, stick around, stick with us, we're going to do this.
Well, I think those people also saw what happened this year, right? And the excitement in the building and the pride that people have in being on Big Monday and being on ESPN and who we're playing in the games and all of those things are a part of it. That hasn't changed, Rob, right? You know, I think I would commiserate with them in terms of feeling lied to, right? And let them know that it's not something that I didn't know anything about, and you know, as surprised as they are by what's going on, but reassure them that we're going to find a coach that wants to be at NC State and wants to be at NC State for a long time.
Will there be again, I might have missed this earlier, and I apologize if I did, but will there be a search firm for this, or you guys, how are you planning on conducting the search?
We have not decided on whether or not we're going to use a search firm at this point. Right now, we're not. We're not going to use a search firm. You know, we went through this a year ago. We got a pretty good idea of what's going on and what the market is and where salaries are and all of those things. So I don't believe that we're going to use a search firm this time.
Do you feel like it was a misstep at all in the contract negotiations last year to have a $5 million buyout as opposed to a larger buyout by the individual person?
Well, I mean, you can look at it a couple different ways. Like today, do I wish it was a bigger buyout? Absolutely, I wish it was a bigger buyout, right? But I think if you look at the 2.5 that we were paying Coach Wade as opposed to what some of the other people were paying, which was significantly more for coaches with less experience, you know, there's going to be give and take in every negotiation, and you know, a really good negotiation is when both sides leave a little bit upset. Right, not everyone gets exactly what they want, and I think that's what it is. And Jimmy Sexton was really good to work with. I do want to say that he's been a pro to work with, and I do appreciate the relationship that was developed with Jimmy.
Anything else?
Yeah.
Who else?
In the back.
Here? Okay. Start here.
You kind of touched on it, but how much did you learn during the last year's coaching search that you can use with this one being another major hire?
Yeah, I think a lot, right? It's a little bit of muscle memory, right? Does not mean we want to do more of this, right? But the more that you do something, you know, a little bit more comfortable you are in that, you know, made a lot of really good contacts with people last year that are carrying over already to this year. I can assure you that between yesterday at 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock in the morning and, you know, today, my phone has been in receive mode more.
All right, so that is the athletic director for NC State speaking yesterday after Will Wade decided to leave and go back to LSU to be the head coach. So we want to go back now to that breaking news. I promised you earlier we'll give you updates. We actually have a look at the scene here. Again, this is on the 3100 block of, this is a live look of High Glen Drive. This is in North Charlotte, the University City Division. Police are investigating a homicide. So the camera is zoomed in right now, but it looks like this, from looking at shots earlier, it looks like this is at an apartment complex. Our Destiny Richards is there on the scene. Limited details on what exactly happened, even down to what time it happened. But as we can assume, it happened this morning. Police are there on the scene. You can see a live look there as officers are investigating. And as we learn more, we'll be sure to update you here on Live Impact News on WCNC Plus. All right, let's head to break. We'll be back here in just 2 minutes here on Live Impact News on WCNC Plus. Welcome back here on Live Impact News on WCNC Plus. I'm Nick Sertivant. We want to go back now to that scene, that homicide scene in the University City Division, Charlotte Mecklenburg Police Department there, conducting a homicide investigation on the 3100 block of High Glen Drive. This is a live look at a scene. Destiny Richards is there. She'll give us an update during our midday show, but you can see officers there. We don't have a lot of details on what exactly happened, but again, this looks like an apartment complex where this all unfolded. As soon as we get more information, we will be sure to update you here on Live Impact News, on our midday, on our various platforms, including here on WCNC Plus. All right, so let's head now to the 2026 CPAC conference that's happening in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. A lot of influential Republicans at this annual event. Let's take a listen in.
To see impeachment hearings. No. Can someone bring some coffee out for the people of CPAC?
I know.
We've got to keep this House majority. How many of you agree with that? We got to keep Mike Johnson as Speaker, and we got to add to the number of people who will go to the United States House of Representatives and push for the Trump agenda. Someone who believes in that, a proud Nevada veteran and wonderful person, David Flippo, is running in Nevada's 2nd District. David, come tell the people of CPAC why you have earned CPAC's endorsement.
How we doing, CPAC?
Let me just stand here.
We got any Nevada in the house? Arizona, we got the red wall to build out there. I'm David Flippo. I'm running for Congress in Nevada's 2nd District. 23 years ago this month, I was in Iraq. I was capturing the air bases, standing them up to get aircraft on the ground. I talked to airmen. I had 1,000 airmen, talking to them like I am right now with you, and not a single one of them backed down. So don't listen to the media when you hear that we have soldiers, airmen, Marines, and sailors out there questioning whether what we're doing right now is right or wrong. I am 100% convinced that our airmen and our soldiers, Marines, and sailors are 100% on board. Absolutely. We're in another fight right now. We're in another fight against the wokeness. And I'm part of that red wall in Nevada. And we're putting that red wall up to keep to the west of us that wokeness. We have to do that. But it's not just the left that we got to worry about. I'm running against a Republican candidate who voted to give driver's license to illegals. He voted for diversity quotas, and he voted for Planned Parenthood funding. We have to be careful who we elect in Congress. I did not spend 14 years of my life in the desert to have the woke left take this country over. We are in a fight. We're in a fight for our country. And it is time. It is time we all stand up. I'm running for Nevada's 2nd District. I'm David Flippo. Flippo for Nevada. Let's make this happen.
All right. Good job, David. So I think you all know that, by the way, it's Nevada. It's not Nevada. Who are these people that say Nevada, David? You know what they are? They live in Manhattan, New York. That's who they are. But as you know, CPAC rates all the senators, all the U.S. senators, all the congressmen, all the governors, all the state senators, and all the state representatives. And Joe Mitchell has been with us at CPAC time and time again. And when he's young now, but he was even younger. He was in the Iowa state legislature and earned a 92% lifetime CPAC rating. So he's the real deal. And we are very proud to give him our endorsement in Iowa's 2nd District. So Joe Mitchell, come up and tell the people of CPAC why Iowa needs another conservative congressman.
Well, Matt, this is quite larger than any No Kings rally I've ever seen, isn't it? A better looking crowd, too. So, Matt, thank you so much for the endorsement. Give a hand to the CPAC staff and to the board, please. So, my name's Joe Mitchell. I'm running for United States Congress in Iowa. And there's 3 things we're running on. Number one, I'm not taking any corporate PAC money, okay? So that means no money from Pfizer, no money from BlackRock, no money from Wells Fargo. We don't need their money. We only need money from the people like yourself. The second thing is we got to have term limits. I don't want to be up there when I'm 80 years old, okay? I'm 28, so I don't want to be up there in 50 years from now. So, and then the third thing is you got to stop this insider trading. So you have people like Nancy Pelosi. You have people like Nancy Pelosi. They go up there, they're worth about $2, and they come out, and they're worth about $200 million. That's not right, so we're going to ban that. I've also been endorsed by President Donald J. Trump. Isn't that great? I've been endorsed by people like Jim Jordan, Anna Paulina Luna, Brandon Gill, and so we've been endorsed by all the right people. Any of the rhinos that wanted to endorse me, I said, I don't want your endorsement. We only want endorsements from conservatives, right? So, but anyways, have a great time here at CPAC. Thank you guys so much. Take care, okay?
Thanks, Joe. By the way, you guys all have a PAC. It's called the CPAC Action PAC. My guess is Joe's going to be okay taking your money, right, Joe? That's the good kind of money, real taxpayer paying Americans. The next person running for Congress is a little controversial because I think he'd like to reorder the Bill of Rights. He might like to put the Second Amendment as the First Amendment. I don't know, but he believes in speech and he believes in your right to keep and bear arms. And he's won already the Republican nomination in Texas's 23rd district. Brandon, is that on the border? Near the border? It's a lot of the border. How would you like to have an actually strong wall-building congressman on the Texas border? Sounds kind of good, doesn't it? Brandon Herrera, come talk to the people of CPAC. Yeah.
This is incredible. This is honestly incredible. If you had told me 3 years ago that my life would have gone in a direction that would have led to me speaking at CPAC, I would have told you to get back on your medication. Because at the end of the day, I'm just a regular guy. I'm a 30-year-old business owner in my district who was unhappy with the way that his congressman was voting. We needed somebody who's strong on the Second Amendment, somebody who's strong for Republican values, somebody who's strong on the border in the biggest border district in the country, and we didn't have one. And so I stepped up, and we had all of the big guns of the establishment pointed directly at us. They came after us with millions and millions of dollars, all of the pressure the establishment possibly could throw at someone. I wouldn't recommend it, by the way. But this cycle, we won. We beat Tony Gonzalez in Texas 23. And it is the honor of my life to stand before you as the Republican nominee for Texas District 23. And not only are we endorsed by leadership, not only are we endorsed by some of the most conservative people in the United States Congress, we are now endorsed by the 45th and 47th President of the United States, Donald J. Trump. And anybody who tells you that Texas isn't energized, they're crazy. We are doing some house cleaning this cycle. We're getting rid of the rhinos that have been representing Texas for too long. We are energized and we are here. But we can't allow ourselves to get complacent. It's very easy to get comfortable. The Democrats are going to come at us with everything they have because so go with Texas, so go with the country. So we need to make sure we are firm, go out, vote, get everybody else to vote, and let's keep Texas red and let's keep our control over the House of Representatives. Get out there, get energized. I'm here behind you. So thank you so much. Appreciate it.
God bless you, man. Thank you, buddy. Exactly what we need, people who will actually do what they say they're going to do. And, you know, we have a friendly competition. It's between two states. And I know everyone in New Jersey and New York thinks that that's between the two of them, but none of the rest of us in the country think it's between them. We all know that the big competition on who loves freedom the most is between Texas and Florida, okay? Rick, it's a setup, okay? I'm trying to set you up. Remember the fat guy who used to sit by Johnny Carson? I'm that guy, okay? I'm trying to help you here. Florida is where we're going for CPAC next year. Orlando, Florida. Why are we doing that? Because, we've been talking to Byron Donalds, and he really wants us there. And then Greg Abbott and the rest of the people, Ken Paxton and others, are saying, no, we really want you in Texas. I don't know. I think, Veronica, a little competition between the two states on how badly they want CPAC could be good for everybody. As I said, we rate all the state senators and state representatives. Why do we do that? Why do we spend all this time and money tracking everybody in their political careers? They're now tracking governors. I think we should track the EU. That's going to be something we're going to add to this. We're going to hold those people in Paris accountable. But not Paris, Texas, I mean the other Paris. Why do we do that? Because when everybody comes to you to run for office, what do they say? I'm the most conservative guy in the world. I'm the biggest MAGA guy in the world, blah, 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 blah. But it's the record that matters, right? That's why when Betsy McCoy was lieutenant governor of New York, she had a conservative record. Mike Lindell doesn't need a scorecard because we have about 18 years of videotape of him talking, and we know exactly what Mike Lindell thinks. And Rick Roth, from the great state of Florida, who's running for the state Senate, had a 92% conservative voting record when he was in the Florida State House. So, Rick, tell us why Florida needs another conservative in the Senate, and understand there's something about the Senate. It seems like every Senate is a little lackluster. We need to add more conservatives to it.
Good morning, CPAC. I've been in your chair. I was in your chair in 2021 when CPAC came to Orlando as a state representative. And I'm here to tell you, it's a lot more fun on this side of the mic. We are having a beautiful convention today and all this week, and I can't tell you from the bottom of my heart the endorsement of CPAC. Matt and Mercedes have rolled out the red carpet for me this week. I feel like I'm not running for Florida Senate. Maybe I'm running for Congress. I'm getting the best treatment. You know why? Because for 8 years as a state representative, and my nickname was R5, Real Republican Representative Rick Roth, I ran a resolution 8 years in a row to protect our Constitution by raising the bar to 66% from 60. Florida is the most amended Constitution in.
All right, so that is the CPAC conference underway there in Grapevine, Texas. This is the Dallas-Fort Worth area that this is happening in. Let's come back out here. Thank you for being with us this morning here on Live Impact News on WCNC Plus. Stay with us with more local news, more developments. Again, that breaking news out of North Charlotte, the homicide investigation. We'll have more, and anything that breaks, stay with us here on WCNC Plus. Have a great morning.